All right, title is not clickbait. It is Wednesday, March 26th, and we're getting up out of here. We're gonna explain everything that happened, what led me to this point, and what's next. Let's talk about it. It's like, I know what I want to say, but I also don't know what I want to say at the same time. So that video was in March, and it is now July the 27th of 2025. I believe I owe everybody an explanation. I want to just talk about my experience, and I just want to tell everybody basically what happened. And I can hear it already in the comments. If you're coming here for confirmation bias of what you assumed you already knew or what you heard from somebody else,
now fuck off, guy. Gus, Jim, Bill, whatever your fucking name is.
I'm not gonna sit here and smear shit around about a company or people or anything like that. I'm here to just tell you exactly what happened to me, a couple stories, and we're just gonna talk about this in this video. So I left Smith Transport in March of 2025. I worked there for about 8 months. And I basically just want to tell you what happened. First off, I want to say it wasn't the actions of a singular person or any of the people that were in charge of me or above me. My dispatcher, Sharon, anybody in operations, my recruiter, Diesel Dave, marketing, recruiting, anybody. Actually, I don't have anything but nice things to say about basically everybody that I interacted with at Smith. Basically what happened was the miles just fell off. Coinciding, the money just fell off. And there was a couple of things that kind of got me to this point. So for those that are new here, I was on the 12-2 OTR division, home every other weekend for 2 days for 48 hours. It was good until it wasn't, basically. We did have, so I want to say that most of the stuff that everybody told me in orientation, it is what they say that it was. And so I'm not here to tell anybody else that they lied or said things that weren't true to me just to get me in the door or anything like that. And in fact, for the most part, everything was fine. It's just me personally, things just kind of fell off. And I also want to say that just because these things that I'm going to go through happen to me does not mean that they're going to happen to you. These are just my personal experiences. I'm not here to sugarcoat it, but I'm here to tell the truth because that's the whole point of this YouTube channel. And I want to give everybody information that I have so maybe they can better make their own decisions for themselves. So in my last video, it was like the winter time in 2024, 2025, I don't remember, like early 2025, I don't remember when it was, but literally that same day, that same afternoon, we had a winter storm that came in. I was in Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania at the terminal, and I didn't have anything at the moment, so I thought I was just gonna be hanging out, waiting through the storm, and, you know, wait until the next day, till the weather cleared up. Shortly after that, I got a call from, I don't remember if it was my DM or one of the DMs at the Walmart DC down in Bedford, and they needed me to run a load. Now, I was obviously very aware of the weather, that there's like snow and ice that was coming through, and this and that and the third, and they needed me to like run something. They needed coverage for something, whatever. All I remember is that was in going from Bedford to DuBois, which was like 60 loaded miles or something. I expressed my reluctancy to whomever it was on the phone. I don't remember who it was. I don't really remember the specifics of it other than the stuff that I list. I was like, yeah, there's the snow and ice coming through, this, that, and the third. Like, oh, well, you know, it's just going to be this little short run. You know, we really need it covered. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll do it. But, you know, keeping in mind that, you know, the weather's coming in through. But, again, it was only 60 miles, so it shouldn't really take that long. You know, Walmart freight out of Bedford at that Walmart DC is drop hook. So they told me that it was going to be dry freight, a dry load, because I didn't have any refrigerated reefer experience. And sure enough, when I got there, it was not a dry load. It was a reefer load. And I also want to say this for people that don't know, I did not run Walmart DC. I was not part of the Walmart dedicated. I was just a regular road driver. I don't do reefer. I did not do Walmart. I only did Walmart like twice while I was there in total. Like that was not part of that. So I was not familiar with the way, because it's different. They have a whole different team and stuff just for the Walmart dedicated drivers. So I pick up the load and I'm running it. I'm going, what is that, up 99. And sure enough, the weather starts hitting. And I make it to, from Bedford down at the bottom, I made it up 99 probably till about, like, maybe State College area. And the weather just progressively got worse, and it was dusk, you know, at this time of the day as well. And sure enough, Smith issued a shutdown, and I was within that shutdown area, so I got a message that came across from, I think it was after hours or nighttime dispatch or whatever. They're like, you know, you can't run anymore, you know, we're shutting you down, we're shutting this whole area down when you're in that area or whatever. So I went and I parked at the, what is that gas station there? Rudders. Parked at the Rudders gas station. I think it was the weekend of the Super Bowl, if I recall correctly. I was at Rudders gas station, so I shut down. I let them know, I'm like, hey, you know, I got this Walmart load, just let me know, you know, because it was supposed to be due by this time. Like, I need to know, like, can we reschedule? When can I go in? You know, what does the receiver say? Again, I didn't run Walmart. I don't run Walmart. I was unfamiliar with how these whole things worked. Like, didn't know. I was just talking to the person with the after hours or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, we'll look into it, whatever. So okay. So I sat there, and then turned into the next day, and then I think it was another day after that, and then that second day, I got a call from one of the, it was like over the weekend or something, and then, you know, it was like Monday morning or something. I don't remember specifically. Somebody from the Walmart dispatch office called me. They're like, hey, yeah, so whatever happened with this load? I was like, yeah, I still got it. And they were like, what? I said, yeah, I still got it. It's still sitting on my back. Like, I got the reefer running and everything. Like, I message after hours, nighttime dispatch, whatever, you know, trying to see if we could just, if I could, like, run this load over to the receiver. Didn't hear anything back. Checked in with them, didn't hear anything back, whatever. And person was like, oh my God, just take it to the receiver, see if they'll take it. And fortunately, so I was like, okay. So fortunately I did, but what I should have didn't know it, but what I should have did was called the Walmart people directly out of Bedford. Didn't do that. I was just talking to the nighttime dispatcher, thinking that they would have had the same messages for me, but again, I didn't know this. I was ignorant to that at that point. These Walmart people are over here. The after hours dispatch people at Roaring Spring are over here. Two totally separate things. Didn't know it. I guess if you want to call it my fault, whatever. Luckily, anyway, I got to DuBois, got to the Walmart, unloaded me and everything, so I was fortunate there, but that was just one of those things that happened, and I don't even know. It's just a story for the video or whatever, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. Like, so there was like a communication breakdown somewhere. I didn't know. I was the driver. I was just doing what I was told. I was reluctant to run the shit in the first place anyway, but I was just trying to do the right thing, get something, you know, miles wise, and, you know, try to help them out. They needed coverage for a load, whatever. So, another thing is, speaking of Roaring Spring, okay, so we have a 2.5 day orientation in Roaring Spring for Smith Transport. It's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, half day. You get your truck assigned, you get dispatched on your load, you know, you get rolling. So it's notorious that I learned that if you're anywhere in Pennsylvania or at the Roaring Spring terminal specifically for any reason on a Thursday and you don't have a load like pre-planned on you, you're probably going to be sitting, or you might get sent down to Walmart. One of the two things. But a majority of the time, that happened to me more than a few times. Not anybody's fault. It's just the way things unfolded. You know what I mean? A majority of the time that you would just sit, like Thursday and Friday would come around, and then you might spend half the day Friday sitting around. You wake up at 6, and you know you sit till like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. They're like, well, either A, we don't have nothing, or B, we do have this load, but it's like, I was in Roaring Spring, and it was like one of those, was it Groveport, Ohio? One of those potato chip places. And because I live in South Carolina, so I was trying to get home for home time, whatever. I had to do this load that was, it was in Ohio. It was like potato chips or snack foods or something that was going to the Walmart in Pageland, South Carolina. It was like kind of near Charlotte. And it happened more than a few times that I heard the words, you know, there's either nothing else in the area or there's nothing else going to that area. A la, like when I was trying to get home for home time, you know, this is the only thing that they had run down to South Carolina. So I either had to wait, the pickup times, it was like I had to wait till the following day again, which was already into my home time. So like my home time would just be like messed up completely at that point, or it would be on the days, or, you know, that I didn't really want them to be on. It was on the weekend. It'd be like a Monday. And like, it just, not a huge deal, but definitely annoying. And again, I say all these things to say that there was a lot of little things that just kind of snowballed at the end that kind of just like, and that's not to say this wouldn't happen anywhere else, because it would, but it's just, I'm just telling my end of it. This is what happened to me, and this is why I chose to do what I did, basically. So yeah, you'll hear or I heard there's nothing else in the area, or there's nothing else going to that area, and you really don't have a way of confirming that, unfortunately. It's just, you know, you have to trust your dispatcher, which I do have a good relationship with my dispatcher. And it's not that I don't trust her, but there's just, on the other hand, there's no way for me to like confirm that that's true or not. So depending on a person, not so much me, but in general, like if it's you and they're like, oh, we don't have nothing else in that area. Sometimes you, like, the cynical in you is just like, is that really true? Or do you just have nobody else to do this load because the pickup times are terrible and nobody wants to do it? Everybody's declining because, you know, it's no force dispatch, so you could decline loads if you want to. Not that I would, but. So the other day I got an email from Miss Jen, and it said changes. The title was changes. The subject line was changes. And basically, the long and the short of it is they have a new, Smith Transport has a new COO. His name is Tom Kazenberg. Sorry if I mispronounced that. He has 29 years experience in trucking. And basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to light the fire under the sales team to like get us more freight, get the drivers more freight. And she did say in the email that we have gotten an uptick in freight as far as Smith is concerned. I don't know, because if I would have had more miles and consistently gotten home, I probably would have stayed there. But like it just kind of fell off, and that's not the whole reason I left. I also had some other personal things going on in a totally separate realm in my own life that I'm not really going to mention on camera because it's not important, but things were going on in the background with that as well. So I'm just going to mention the Smith side of it, obviously. But they have a new COO, and apparently have more freight. And if there was more freight, I probably would have stayed there. But it got to the point where I actually switched from 12.2 to home weekly, which was a drop in cent per mile. So I went from 60 to 55 cent a mile home weekly, because that's what the division pays, you know. And I ran that for a couple weeks, and it just wasn't getting any better because I was so frustrated that that was just like, there would be days where I'd just be sitting out and I was just like wasn't running that many miles. There's too much time on loads. Like you have to sit on it for a day when you could like literally drop it, like, or it's just whatever. Apparently there's more freight, and they're working on getting even more freight. So this might not even be a problem in the future, but again, I'm just reporting on what happened to me here. Now, the email ended with something like, let's get you back in the black. And I wanted to, my final point in all this was to say that, would I go back to Smith Transport? Honestly, I think I would. If there was some way for me to prove that, in my mind, that I knew that there was going to be more freight and I didn't have to like sit around and basically twiddle my thumbs and like waste time while I'm out there. Because us as drivers, when we go out there, we don't want to be just sitting around staring at the top of the roof when you're in a sleeper, or just like sitting in the seat staring at your phone all day. You want to be making money. You're sacrificing your time away from your family and your home because you're out there to make money. So don't let me sitting out there with like crummy layover pay and just expecting me to be okay with that, because a lot of people wouldn't be, and I'm sure of it. But I think I would, if there was a way for them. I guess they couldn't really prove it to me, but like if I knew for certain that there would be an uptick in freight, because I'm very familiar with the lanes that they run. You see a lot of the same customers, you run a lot of the same lanes all the time. There's parking everywhere. as far as like terminals, because we share terminals with Heartland, CFI, Millis, and then the Smith terminals. So it's like there's parking everywhere in most major cities, like showers, free laundry, the whole nine. So that was a great aspect of it. Never had to worry about parking in a lot of places. And you know, drop hook, 90% drop and hook, which was also true, which is easy. They have good equipment, run 68 mile an hour. You're always gonna have a new truck every 3 years. So it's like, if it wasn't for the miles thing, I would still be there. So that's my overall point on all of this. You don't have to believe me, but I did work there for 8 months, and you will see in all my other videos what I had to say about that. And I still feel strongly about the company. I liked working there. It just ended up not working out at the end. But would I go back? Probably. Again, if I can confirm the miles went up. But as you can see, side note, I'm in a hotel room. It's not the one in Altoona / Roaring Springs. I'm actually in Minnesota, but that's going to be a different story for a different time. Anyway, questions, comments, concerns, down in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. If you're wondering about Smith Transport, go check out my other videos about them, because my videos are recent and they're like thorough, and I try to be as, you know, quality and transparent as possible in all those videos. If you want to learn more about Smith, call Recruiter 888-GO-SMITH. Go talk to Dave, Diesel Dave. Even though I don't even work there, I'll still tell you to call him. I don't care. It might be a better fit for you than it is for me. I don't know. Don't take my word for it though. Do your own research. But I think that's all I got for now, guys. Yeah, Smith Transport. I want to be transparent, and that's it. So until next time, guys, take care. God bless. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.
Now fuck off.